Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Week in 7 Questions. I'm Nalyvayko, your host for today, as our iconic presenter, Roland Freundestein, is moving on to further adventures, leaving nonetheless big shoes to fill. A special welcome to our guest, Andrea Gerosa, chief thinker and founder of Think Young. Andrea, youth seems to be one of the big topics of the moment, especially after the President von der Leyen's speech during State of the Union. Do you think young Europeans feel this political attention?
Hi, Anna. Thank you for your question, and thank you for the invitation. Yes, absolutely. They do feel finally the political attention. We do research on young people on a daily basis, and from our research, the last one we've conducted, 85% of them want to feel more involved in European affairs and in European politics, and definitely they see and they feel that there is more attention to them. And finally, I would say youth is on the table, and youth is the most important topic at the moment in Europe. So definitely, yes.
Many say that the younger generation suffered the most during the pandemic. How can we help them recover the energy and hope?
Well, I think you used the two right words, energy and hope, which is very much what we need in Europe now. A bit more of energy, a bit more of dynamic, of movement, but if we see what happened during the pandemic with young people, and we're about to publish a book about this, a lot of young people used this pandemic as an opportunity. They used digital tools to help others. So they were helping older generation who couldn't leave their house. They were helping people with disabilities. So I think there is a lot of energy that it's out there, and that definitely we need to unlock, and Europe needs to make sure that this energy is turned into action, more and more of the energy of the young people. And that will definitely make sure that there will be more hope for the future and more positive outcomes.
What can you tell us about Alma? Can temporary work experience in another member state be good for the career of young people?
Well, absolutely, yes. At the moment, we still have 2.8 million young Europeans who are unemployed, under 25 years old. It's a huge number. And the problem in Europe, we know it, is that people start working too late. Sometimes they start working at 25. A first work experience is 28. Sometimes you don't really know what you like, but also what you don't like until you're 29, 30. That's far too late. And we need to make sure people get their first work experience as early as possible. We are big fans of Think Young, also the dual system, where you start at, as a teenager to have some work experience, but the earliest, the best. And if it can be mixed with like the Erasmus, so that the fact that you do this work experience abroad, even better. Let them start, do their first work experience as early as possible. This is key. We say it since 10 years. Finally, we're there. We hope that the Alma gives the right and the positive outcome that the Erasmus did in the last 30 years.
And what about Next Generation EU? Will this significant investment make a difference for the future of our youth?
Well, Anna, first, I think we all should acknowledge and appreciate that we moved from discussing few hundred million euros budget to billions. Suddenly the conversation was about 800 billions, 900 billion, and while before the discussion was very limited. So this is great, very positive. Now, for young people, we know what is needed. Education mainly focused on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Love to young entrepreneurs, to startups, grants. Now that there are the money, give it to the young one. As we said before, energy, hope, startups are the base of this. And Europe has many different countries with many different startups. And we should make sure we boost this energy and these differences. And also make sure that the money gets in the pocket of young people so that they can, go out and spend and make sure that they can start finally boosting the economy as we like.
In many of our countries, one of the biggest challenges for young men and women is access to housing. Any ideas of how to help them rent or buy houses?
Well, definitely. I mean, now, if you look at the numbers, 50% of Europeans under 34 years old, they still live with their parents. And this is a number that definitely we need to tackle. Now, how to do it? housing is a very local policy. It really goes down to the city, to the region, of the lender, depending on the country. So it's quite difficult. The number one answer is clearly employment. As long as you have a job, you naturally want to leave your parents. Make sure this is possible. Make sure that the programs like Erasmus or Alma we mentioned before allow you to afford to move out already during university, going abroad. Once you do that jump, then it's difficult that you go back. So I think, already we have the right policies. We just need to put more money on it.
Probably another challenge for them is starting a family due to various socioeconomic factors. How can we help increase the birth rate in Europe?
Well, and I guess it's similar somehow to the housing, meaning, employment, growth, that's number one. Also, if we look at the generation, the one who are about to make a family now, the Gen Y, they already come suffering from the 2008 financial crisis. So let's already start digging deeper. This is a generation we need to help now make family, growth, employment, jobs, 4 months leave for both parents. In some countries, still this doesn't exist. I mean, when you have a child, the first thing you want to do is to have them spend some time with them, and then money for nursery, all these things. We already know the policies. Now we have the money. Let's make sure it gets to the right place.
Finally, what could be a good slogan for 2022, the year of European youth?
Well, there are many slogans that I think that are out there, but definitely we know young people are the future, but let's make sure we help them to build the present. They have to be involved today.
That was all for today. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for next week's special guest.